getting midnight out of the can there. I got her all stirred up, and now she's thinks she wants to fight with my thumb. There she goes. Gonna pull her out on the sticks. And she's still defensive. Look at her. She's all kinds of fired up. Hello and welcome to the Hive. This is my first and potentially only official YouTube video, and I just felt if I was going to make any video that I needed to make this one. Now clearly I'm here to talk about the murder hornets. So I don't know about you, but my feed has been full of the posts about murder hornets, and not just from the bug geek groups, but all my other media outlets. And getting hornet memes and stuff. There's a lot of sensation surrounding these murder hornets. They've become a bit of an overnight legend, towing the line between monster and animal with their flesh-melting stings, malicious aggression, and hatred towards mankind. So let's go ahead and dig into the murder hornets. Now, before I get started, I want to take a moment to say stings and bites should always be treated as serious. Locations of envenomation should be monitored in humans and in pets, and take any additional steps to treat the area, and don't hesitate to seek medical treatment should you have adverse reactions or prolonged infection. Vespa mandarinia, the Asian giant hornet, one of the mighty among insects, measuring nearly 2 inches long and a wingspan of up to 3 inches. This is the largest species of hornet in the world. It's not just the size that these insects have in their corner, but an array of skills and weapons that aid in totally dominating their natural surroundings. Before we get into that legendary stinger and potent venom, though, let's take a look at the other end of this insect. Let's look into those big, beautiful eyes. Don't you just want to... Oh, I mean the jaw. Sorry, we're going to talk about those bolt cutter jaws. Bees beware. One snip of these is all it takes and their head comes clean off. These jaws, and not the stinger, is actually what earned them the name murder hornets. Now, giant hornets are a eusocial predator, and they usually eat medium-sized insects, wasp, mantis, but most notably they're famous for attacking bees and consuming both the insects and the honey. A handful of these hornets, they can wipe out just a whole hive. They can take out thousands at once. The European honeybee actually has no natural defenses against these assaults, and their stingers don't really do anything because the armor of the hornet is so impenetrable. Hornets will rip them to shreds and just carry them right back to their babies to eat. It's a pretty terrifying. This is a terrifying animal, in all honesty, if you're a bee. But what if you're a human? Is there a reason to run in fear from the droning wings of the Asian giant hornet? The answer is kind of a mixed bag with no clear yes or no regarding that. The best you can hope for when it comes to a natural impact from any invasive species is kind of a neutral stance, but the goal is always to regulate the invasion and, if possible, exterminate any kind of unwanted invaders, insect or otherwise. That's just unwanted by humans. As the honeybee is invasive, it's not native to North America. I don't know if that's maybe people are aware of that, but yeah, the honeybees have some skeletons in their closet. I mean, they came right after humans moved into the Western world, and they just wreak havoc on the flora and fauna. This is really prevalent on islands, but continent-wide it was regarding the honeybee. The European honeybee actually is documented in the New World in the Virginia colony as early as 1622. And it didn't take long before they became in direct conflict with the native bees, and that continues to this day. Now we see all insect populations are in decline, so the future of the native bees are actually looking pretty bleak in comparison to the honeybees. Great slice of bee history, but what's all this got to do with the murder hornets? Before we get into that, let's circle back to that stinger. It's about a 1/4 inch long on these insects, and the Asian giant hornet, nothing to scoff at. It's a real threat. One that gets hyped though is the venom, the part of the hornet that's getting all hyped out. So why the bad rep for the venom? So we got this enzyme called Mindara toxin. It's specifically named after this species. It's pretty volatile stuff. It contains enzymes and histamines, or histamine-releasing factors, along with polypeptides. That means if you get stung, you're not having a good time. But how bad? On the Schmidt's sting scale, which gauges the pain experienced from an insect bite or sting, the Asian giant hornet actually ranks right down here with the honeybee. It's actually about just as painful as a honeybee. It's still nothing to scoff at. Honeybee stings, they hurt. They're pretty bad, but they're mild in comparison to things like peps of wasp or bullet ant. And it's an apt comparison. The venom is actually pretty similar between the two species. As a result, they're not especially painful, but it's still deadly, right? Yes, but that's true of, again, bees and any other insect stinging or biting. Based on the victim, allergies, health, the number of stings suffered, they can be fatal. It's not out of the question. And that comes again for bees, wasps, hornets, ants. Like the standout when it comes to Vespa mandarinea is the payload which it possesses, and that's specifically due to its large size. So to recap, not especially painful, still pretty painful, but and not especially fatal, but fatal as all insect stings. So the deadly monster is really coming into light here. I'm kind of seeing overhyped in the social media, but the danger could be to ecology, maybe the ecological impact of invasive species. And that can be gauged several ways. We're not going to get too deep into it. However, the immediate impact, much like the venom, is pretty overhyped. But it should be closely monitored. This, any invasive species needs to be closely monitored. So let's bring it back around to the honeybees again. I know you love hearing about those when I'm supposed to be talking about hornet. The immediate threat is an economic one. Vespa mandarinea is a beekeeper's worst nightmare. As we covered, this species, they can massacre entire beehives and potentially drive up the honey prices, and that's the real threat that we need to be watching here. It's going to be an economic one, an agricultural one. It's not going to necessarily be like a horror movie scene with the murder hornets are coming, like you've been seeing, and it's a nice joke, I guess, to go along with the following up the pandemic with a swarm of angry hornets that are malicious and want to kill humanity. It's just not the case. They are invasive. They are a danger to honeybees specifically, and that's what they murder. Their murder reputation is these are murderers of bees and not especially dangerous to humans, or no more dangerous to humans than what we see with some native yellow jacket species and wasp species. And of course, as we covered, honeybees can have a pretty heavy hitting sting themselves. So recapping the video, Vespa mandarinea, Asian giant hornet, aka the murder hornet, definitely a threat to agriculture, a threat to the honey market, of course, so an economic threat there. Also, something we need to watch ecologically, because any invasive species has potential to make some ecological impact. But as far as a danger to humans directly, no, not especially. Again, something you want to watch out to. You don't want to go out of your way to get stung. You definitely want to avoid them and report them if you run into them. They're pretty distinct. They're huge. They're the size of a hummingbird. You'll hear them. They have a very distinct drone. Of course, then again, our native species of yellow jackets and other hornets that live in North America also are very large and should be given the same caution, we should say, because they too can inflict a pretty nasty sting. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure if I don't make any other video ever in my life to cover this, because I think it's being overhyped, and let's look at the movie Jaws and what it did to sharks. It gave them this reputation, and people just wantonly killing them. And we don't need that to happen to the wasps. We don't need that to happen to any insect, because we need to protect these little guys because they are so important to the environment. If anybody's wondering, this is actually an African giant mantis. I've had her about a year, so she's an old lady by now, but the kids love her. She's the last one left of the batch I got. Anyway, thank you for watching my video. Hopefully you learned a little bit about these hornets. I don't like the name murder hornets. I call them Asian giant hornets, and I've been fascinated by them since long before they made their way across the Pacific. Anyway, thank you for visiting the hive. You take care and have a pleasant day.